Kevin Sidebottom here, speaker, author, and trainer. And I go around and I teach sales organizations and leadership teams how to grow trust and influence with their customers and their team members so they can drive higher revenues and more profits. Today, let's talk about how you build and increase your sales in your business. Yeah, that's right. When we're in business and we start out, we want to make some money. And at the end of the day, that's exactly what we need to do is make money so we can pay our staffs, pay our overhead costs, and have a decent living, right? Well, how do we do that? Well, the simplest way I always do is when you're working with your sales force, you need to make sure they're following a process. Now, every time someone tells me, how do I increase my sales? Or how do I get my sales team to increase sales? I always ask them, what's your process? And I usually get that blank stare of, say what? Yeah, what is your sales process? What is that common process everybody's following? Not necessarily word for word, but what is that process they're following to help the customer answer the 5 buying decisions they have? That's right. The customer has 5 buying decisions. And if you don't answer those in the correct order, or you don't answer them at all, they're not buying from you, or they're turning you into a commodity. And the only differentiating factor in a commodity is price. So we need to make sure that we have a sales process that is following those buying decisions and answering them correctly and in the right order so we can be successful. So if you want to increase your sales and you don't have a sales process, guess where you got to start? That's right. We need to have a good, solid foundation, and a sales process is how we get there. It helps us become more efficient, and we move forward. Now, any professional athlete you ever meet, or a Navy SEAL, they follow the process. Something that they can do over and over again. That way it's second nature, that way when they're out there to perform, they do it well, and they succeed. All right, our sales managers can't always be there. The CEO can't always be there with the salespeople. We need them to be successful. They need a process that is second nature that they can follow and be successful and repeatable over and over again. If they do so, profits will go up, costs will go down. So we need to make sure that they're following it. So what does that look like? I'm going to give you a little insight here in the 5 buying decisions. The first buying decision is the salesperson. Because no one's going to buy from people they don't like and trust. They don't know you, they don't like you, and they don't trust you. They're moving on to the competition that they do. So we need to make sure that the salesperson is hitting the mark every single time when they're interacting with people. What we need to do, though, is make sure that we're hiring the right salespeople that are intentionally wanting to cultivate. Now, the old sales adage is go out there and hunt a sale or kill the sale or I killed that sale. But here's the idea, is we actually need to be thinking of sales more like farming. We need to cultivate the land. We need to plop seeds in the ground. We need to water and fertilize. We need to weed. And then we can harvest. It takes a little bit of time to get that momentum for our salespeople. Because again, if people don't like, know, and trust us, they're not buying from us. So they need to intentionally be offering value to all their customers. And one of the things that my old mentor would say is when you show up to a customer, visualize you handing them a check for a certain dollar amount on every interaction. Will they want to pay that when you are meeting with them? It's kind of like a charge. And every sales call has a dollar value tied to it. So we need to make sure that when we're there, we're adding value. Because if we are, well, then they're willing to pay for that. So our salespeople have to have an open hand. That's right. It's easy for you to get something in return with an open hand. So they need to be adding value, wanting to share and help the customer succeed. So they need to be focused on that. If that salesperson's not focused on that and they're stingy and they're tight-fisted, well, guess what? They're not going to help the customer and they're not going to grow your sales. So you need to educate them or maybe get rid of them. It's up to you on how you handle that, but you need to have the right kind of people in the right seats on the bus, just like Jim Collins tells you. All right? So let's get into what the sales process is going to do. Well, it's going to cultivate the ground. And yeah, it sounds like it's taking a lot of time to do so, but the more and more you do it and follow it, you'll actually cultivate faster and you'll make more influence with customers. And if you actually hit the mark well enough, guess what happens? The customers tell other people they need to do business with you as well. Well, when you have people that you don't even have to pay that are Salesforce for you, that's pretty good. Word of mouth marketing, especially, is the best kind of sales advertising. When people tell you, hey, they overserved me, they helped me, people go there. You ever gone to a restaurant that just overserved people and helped them and they had such a great experience? They can't help but rave about it. We need to be doing that with our customers. They need to be raving about how awesome it is to do business with us. Well, if we set up that sales process and we have the right people, we're going to do that. So we need to focus on that salesperson. And they need to be intentionally trying to answer the 3 questions. Do I like you? Do I trust you? And how can you help me? And we need to understand when we're salespeople what the issues, the situation, and the ramifications are and make sure that our solution is going to meet that. Otherwise, we're just trying to sell something to somebody. We don't know if it's going to help them. Well, what do you think is going to happen if they don't believe and see how our product's going to help them? So we need to have the right process set up so we're asking the right questions so that way we can uncover the needs that the customer has, verify those, and start moving through before we start even trying to sell anything, our corporation, our products, the price, all that stuff. If we're not doing it right, we won't succeed. So if you don't have a sales process already set up, go find one. Again, you can use mine or anybody else's out there. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. My contact information is below. Be glad to sit down with you and see what you need and how I can help. And if I can't help you, I'll point you in the right direction to someone who can. Okay? If this video was helpful, hit like, share, subscribe. Send to somebody this might benefit. That's why I do these videos, is to help people. Okay? See you next time.